Hello, and welcome to our show, Conversations with Lady T, where we bring guests on our show to talk about issues and topics that matter. We educate, empower, and excite our guests to live their dreams and come together in their communities to make positive impacts. We use tea as a means to relax our guests, warm their hearts, and open their minds to new possibilities. Get your China teacups and enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome to my show, Conversations with Lady T. Today we have a new format, and we're kind of changing the show up a little bit. Before, I used to bring entrepreneurs to talk about their journey and nonprofits to talk about what they're doing in the community. But the show is now going to be talking about health and wellness in all aspects to have a complete, happy, and healthy lifestyle. So today I have Sharon, who is one of the directors here at Princeton Community TV, and we're going to be chatting about my journey of health and wellness. So Sharon?
Well, thanks. I'm not usually in this seat, but let's give everybody a little bit of background. Let's go back about 6 months ago, September of 2019. 2018. We're in 19. Thank you. Don't trust me with dates. So there was a significant change in your life, and why don't you take us back there and tell us what happened?
Okay. So September 29th, 2018, I had gone for colonoscopy. I was due one probably 5 years, before that time. But with not having health insurance and didn't have the money to pay for a colonoscopy, I just wasn't able to go before. But over the last year, I would say every 3 or 4 months, there was like a little spot of blood every time I went to the bathroom. And I kind of was writing up, maybe it's hemorrhoids or something like that. But by the 4th time, I said, got to be something going on, So I ended up going to get checked. When I woke up from the colonoscopy, the doctor didn't look too happy or thrilled, and he just said to me, you have this big polyp. And normally when you have a colonoscopy, if you have polyps, they remove it. So he said it was just too big of a polyp, and the location of it was, very hard to remove doing it the way that he does it when he does the colonoscopy.
Okay.
So he recommended that I go and see a cancer surgeon. And in my mind, I was like, well, why would I go see a cancer surgeon? Why not just a surgeon, But at that time, I didn't ask him that question. It was just kind of pondering in the back of my head. Then a couple days later, he said, you know what? There is another doctor that's in charge of the whole GI group at Rutgers. And he said he thinks he can possibly take it out. So I said, okay, let me go and see him. So I made an appointment. It just so happened that I saw both of them the same day.
Two doctors
the same day. Yes.
Okay.
So that doctor that's in charge of the whole GI department, he actually does research on new tools and different technologies for the medical industry. So when I saw him first, he said, oh yeah, there's this brand new tool that actually just got approved this week from the FDA. It has never been used in the U.S. So I'm looking at him like, a new tool has never been used. Have you used it? He said, oh yeah, I've used it on 5 patients outside the U.S. So I was fine with that, because my background really is IT and technology. So I always believe in, new technology is a good thing. So in that term, I figured, okay, medical technology, that's great.
Yesterday we were talking about that tool because I didn't understand what was different about it.
Right.
So you
Yes.
want to tell people?
Yeah, well, I don't remember the name of the tool, but it's a tool that it's curves much deeper. So when they're cutting out the polyp, it goes much deeper, and so it's a better way to get it out. And so, after talking it over with my mom and my daughter, they were a little bit nervous. Like, my mom is, she's a retired nurse, so she's like, I don't know about new technology, and it hasn't been used here. I said, yeah, Mom, but it's been used in other countries. No, it doesn't matter. It wasn't used here, and so all of that was making me like, I don't know what I should do, and I'm going back and forth and talking to friends, and then I prayed about it as well. I actually asked God to give me some signs what I should do. But then I had gone to the second doctor, which is the cancer surgeon, and she said, after she examined me, she says, I don't know if he can get it. And I was like, She said, let me go and talk to him. So I can hear her voice in the hallway talking to him. And she comes back, she said, well, he thinks he can do it. And I said, okay, but I was a little bit concerned that she was concerned initially that he couldn't do it. But, again, after prayer and all that, then I kind of decided, okay, man, I think I'll go with her. But then just more talking and research, I went online and YouTube and just checking out different surgeries and different things. And then talking with my friends and stuff. And then I decided, you know what, I think I better go with this other doctor.
The more conservative one? Or
No,
the first
the one
procedure.
that's less invasive,
Okay.
yeah. Because that first procedure is less invasive. So I ended up saying, let me do that. So I did that. It was supposed to be 2 hours, the surgery. I woke up 45 minutes later and I knew that it did not go well. So he finally, after I saw him, he said, you know what? We did an ultrasound right before that to check on it to see how deep it goes, because if it goes too deep, then he couldn't do that particular surgery.
Okay.
So he just squashed it. And then a week later, there I was, back at the doctor, the other doctor, the second doctor. And she says, I knew I'd see you. So she really knew that, it probably couldn't be done in her experience. So we did the surgery, and then I had to wait for the biopsy to be done, because they kept cluing in that it might be cancer, So I kept saying, well, if these doctors are experienced, they think it's cancer, maybe it might be. And there it was. On December 2nd, when I spoke to her, she confirmed that it was cancer. It wasn't a big amount of cancer, but, cancer is cancer.
I didn't ask you this question, but I'm assuming that we're talking colon cancer.
Yes.
Right? I'm assuming that, but
yes.
I never asked you that question.
Yes.
Maybe it wasn't colon cancer.
Yeah, well, initially I thought it was colorectal cancer, but after looking at all of the information, it's actually rectal cancer. And there's a difference between rectal cancer and colorectal cancer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the rectum one actually is a little bit more harder in terms of getting it to be cured, or yeah, it's because it's more aggressive as well. And the cancer I had was very aggressive on top of that. So I had gone to see a nutritionist. Actually, I have his book here, Cancer and Nutrition. He actually was an oncologist, but he's did a lot of study in nutrition. So he was saying that if you can really build up the immune system, then you can go for like chemo and all these other things. So he said to me, you know what, because I was really against going for that. So he said, no, I really think you should, based on the type of cancer. He said it's not the size, because the size was a little bit smaller than a dime size. He said, but it's not about the size, it's about the type of cancer, which yours is very aggressive. And because my cancer...
That's kind of scary to hear, right?
It was scary to hear, but even with him saying that, and I had gone to see radiation oncologist as well, like maybe a week before him. And she also recommended me doing the chemo and the radiation as well. She said that she thought it's not sensible, but she's more on the path of caution to make sure that everything was taken out, because sometimes, you take out a tumor and there's still some cells floating around, or maybe something broke off. And the fact that mine was actually, it was like a curve, so it wasn't just easy. Here's that one spot and they take it off. Mine was like kind of like this, around the end of the colon, and so they had to cut it in pieces. And so because they had to cut it in pieces, there was a chance that, maybe some cells could have escaped. But I just, after doing all the research on both sides of the holistic side, as well as, going that route, I just thought, what, I think I'd rather take my chances this way, and my prayer and faith in God just told me, what, I think if I can change everything in terms of my lifestyle, that would be a better way for me to go. And that was my way of treating it, and getting whatever other types of holistic treatments that I could get.
Do you want to share with everybody that your family was not on board with this?
No.
I think that's important for people to hear, because it gives other people going through the same thing, like, they might want to hear that part of the story, that not everybody was like in favor of you.
Yeah, and it's not just family, but even close friends were really not in favor of that. But it's, yes, you want your family's support, but at the end of the day, it's your body, your life. So I think people should respect you more, because you feel pressure. You do feel that pressure from people that don't want you to go that way, and you're like, oh my gosh, like you don't want to disappoint them, but at the end of the day, you have to think about your beliefs, and my belief in God was very strong. And so I said, you know what, I think this is really the way to go. Plus, my parents, my mother's a retired nurse, but they both had a health food store, my mom and my dad. They had 2 health food stores where they were juicing natural, juices. They had herbs. They had all these things. My father was actually vegetarian. I guess pescatarian. He eats fish. But, so that foundation was already there. They had all these books. Matter of fact, some of the books that they gave me, Drink Your Troubles Away.
I saw that book. I was like, what are we talking? Because it sounds like
I know, like you're drinking alcohol. It's not. This is drinking like raw juices to help with different health ailments. And so I've been reading it to see what juices are good for some of the, the cancer.
Okay.
Some of the other books that I read is they have the Animal Connection, talking about eating meat and poultry and things like that. And those are like links to cancer. So they've sent me so many books that I'm really empowering myself.
So did they raise you vegetarian?
No.
Okay.
No. But my father, what happened was my brother went to Seventh-day Adventist college, and he came back total vegetarian. So my mother on occasion, made that, but we mostly ate like chicken, fish, once in a while some meat. But my brother was total vegetarian, and then my father just decided to change, and he changed. I mean, it's been like over probably 30 or 40 years that he was vegetarian. So, but I have background in eating, some vegetarian stuff, but we still ate, some chicken, but mostly chicken and fish. But so what I decided to do in my wellness journey is to become complete plant-based. I don't call it vegan, I don't call it vegetarian, and not even just to say plant-based. I'm a healthy plant-based eater now. That's my lifestyle.
Explain that, because I'm sure people are like, what?
Yeah, well, for me, I don't really like to have the labels, but complete healthy plant-based is...
what do you mean by the healthy? Like, how can you be unhealthy and be plant-based?
Oh my God, you can be unhealthy vegan, you could be unhealthy vegetarian.
Explain that.
You're still eating sweets or too much sugar.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not talking about natural, like fruits and vegetables, but you're still eating too many, like maybe cakes. It could be a vegan cake, but if you're putting the wrong things, like a lot of sugar and like other things in it, that can make you unhealthy. Or if you're eating too much starch, or if you're eating too much, other junk. Because you can still have processed food, and that's also the key. A lot of people are still eating processed foods. So if you're eating the processed food as a vegan or vegetarian, then you're really not a healthy. You're not that. You're healthier maybe than other people that are not eating meat, but you're still not as healthy as you could be. Cutting out the processed food is so important. I think that's number one, is cutting out the processed foods. And for me, I really believe that meat products, chicken, fish, all of that is not really good for you. I've just been doing so much research. I mean, from November, really from September. I would say the end of September is when I started thinking about just giving up a lot of things.
Okay.
I think my birthday was the last day, November 5th, that I had 1 glass of wine, because I don't drink alcohol much. I used to drink wine maybe once or twice a week, but I just went cold turkey and dropped all of that stuff. All the cakes and sugar, and I'm telling you, I love ice cream. I don't care how cold it is outside, I would eat ice cream. I haven't had any ice cream since, oh my God, I can't even remember.
We have to get you I did share, I know there's a cashew ice cream that you can make with a Vitamix, and I have to get you that recipe.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it's just important to, one, you have to drink more water. You have to drink, I like to drink natural fruit juices or vegetable juices. You have to start exercising. I didn't exercise consistently. You have to get the sunlight. Sunlight is so important to get that vitamin D that we need. Especially if you're going to be plant-based and you're not eating, certain meats and fish and things like that. You really want to do that. You have to have temperance. Temperance meaning, what you're eating, you don't overeat.
Balance.
Total balance. Like you don't want to have too much of anything because it's not good for you. But definitely you have to also be very spiritual. For me, I tell you, my Bible has been my best friend. And I always considered myself a spiritual person before, even though I didn't go to church every single week. And I don't think going to church every week means that you have a great relationship with God.
I was just about to ask you that. Do you think you can be a spiritual person and not read the Bible?
I think you could be spiritual, but I don't think your relationship might be as, I shouldn't say the word perfect, but I think your relationship with God is increased when you read the Bible.
Okay.
And because it's like, think about, we go to different books to help us with certain things. Well, the Bible is a spiritual book. And this is what's going to help you to be, closer to God. I mean, that's for me. That's my opinion. It's not a fact. It's just an opinion. So for me, my relationship, I had a relationship with God before. But since I read my Bible every day, a couple times a day now, I feel so much stronger a connection with God. I feel like he's hearing what I'm saying now because I'm taking the time for him. Before I pray in a rush, I read the Bible once in a blue moon and things like that. And
now it's a habit.
Now it's a habit. It's a habit, and I feel it's a good habit for me personally. And I think God is just leading me the way that I need to go. He's bringing people into my life that needs to be in my life. I have met so many people that have gone the holistic way without any surgery, some of them, no chemo, no radiation, and they're still here. And on both sides, I think on both sides, if you go radiation and chemo or if you go the holistic way, yes, you can still die. But I believe that when you have faith in God and you have belief in yourself and you can decide that you're going to do any and everything possible to make sure that you don't have this cancer anymore by eating right, sleeping right, exercising, and just doing all of those important things.
So my question now is, okay, you had the surgery, you opted not to do the chemo and radiation, which they recommended. You've changed your lifestyle. When do you get tested again, or when do you find out if this is working?
Well, I'll just go one step back.
Okay, sure.
So what I did was, because I was very nervous too, I said, okay, I'm eating better, I'm exercising more, I'm sleeping more, but I still feel like I still needed something. So with doing the research, I was seeing that there were so many different kind of treatments that you can have. They had some things that you can get oxygen by going into some chamber and breathing that in, because they keep saying, well, cancer doesn't survive well with the oxygen. Also, they're saying if you keep the body alkaline, if your body's alkaline, cancer can't survive. And I've had friends that have had cancer like 6-7 years ago, and they keep telling me the same thing as well. Like, you really have to just keep your body alkaline by eating less acidic food, which I think the Western world, we eat a lot of acidic food.
We do.
We really do. All that sugar and salt and all these things, all the byproducts and all those things make your body really acidic. So I said that I wanted to go and get some kind of treatments. They also had where they can give you IV into your in your veins, so it can go directly into your blood.
Okay.
They have the vitamin C, just a lot of different herbs and things that you can do. They have hydrotherapy. So let me tell you, girl, I researched my butt off, literally. That's how I am. If anything I do, whether I'm buying a house or a car, whatever it is, I research. I think it's important. So I found 4 places, and I consider them on different levels. Just like when you go to get a car, you have this each level. So Wildwood was where I went. That was the lowest level in terms of the money that I, could afford.
That was the biggest bang for your buck.
That was the biggest bang for my buck.
And it's in Atlanta,
and it's in Georgia. It's on the borderline of Tennessee.
Okay.
There was that's a Seventh-day Adventist place, holistic center, and then there were 2 other Adventist places as well that I wanted to go to. But again, the price point, and some of them offered more things, like the things that I researched, and I said, oh, well, these things would be great. So Wildwood had the least amount of things, but yet when I went there, I felt like I had so much. The people were so wonderful. I felt like I was in a little heaven on earth.
I have goosebumps
I'm telling you, I mean, the people were
I feel
very
your energy.
kind. Oh, girl. I got so excited when I met them. First I was a little nervous. I was like, I don't know. But they've been around for like 75 years. So they must be doing something right to be around that long still. And, I went online and searched online, Facebook and all that to see. And people were saying good things about them. Plus, I actually literally spoke to so many people. My mother just so ended up knew a husband and wife. The wife is a nurse practitioner, the husband is a nurse, and they worked there. My aunt also had gone there for a missionary class to learn about some things. She said, oh, you got to talk to this doctor, Dr. Grievous. I ended up calling him and speaking to him about 30 minutes. He prayed with me. There was a couple people. I spoke to maybe 5 people there. So out of all the places, that place I spoke to the most amount of people. So I felt very comfortable.
Okay.
And we always think, oh, we have to get all of this to accomplish something. that was the basic, and I felt like I've gotten like the best treatment ever. You know, they were already doing plant-based, which is awesome. And all the places I checked out, all of them are doing plant-based as well. They are doing 80% raw, 20% cooked. And that just so happens that that's what I was doing myself. No one told me, I didn't even read that, oh, you're supposed to do that, but that's what they're doing. So I was already ahead of the game, which was exciting. The only thing, they don't really cook with much oil. Because, I mean, they have your good oils, but they, especially when you're trying to heal and build up your immune system, they don't believe in having all of that oil in it.
Okay.
And over-spicing things. But, you know, they used a lot of fresh ingredients. Everything they made was made from scratch. It was just a wonderful, peaceful, and prayerful place, girl. First, I was a little like, okay, because my family, they're all, you know, very religious, and they go to church every week. I'm the only one that doesn't go on a continuous basis. And I was a little worried, like, oh, am I going to get bored here? Because, you know, I'm always running around doing something. I'm not like the party girl, but I'm always doing something.
Yes, you are very active.
Very active,
Yeah.
right? Doing a lot in the community
Yeah.
and just networking and all of that. So I was wondering, can I sit still for 11 days at this place with, you know, religious folks just sitting down? And it was like a breeze. It was so, I can't say anymore. This is the best experience in my entire life.
Going to the center.
Going to the center.
Not having.
No.
But in a way,
But-
yes. Maybe yes.
For what?
Well, you, having had the cancer, has catapulted you into a whole new
it
lifestyle.
has.
And you told me yesterday
Yeah.
you were excited.
Yes, yes. So I did also say that I never cried. And it's kind of strange that I never cried. Yes, there was a day or two that I felt a little sad, like, oh my goodness, my life has really changed. I can't do certain things anymore. And I was like, oh my gosh. But I actually said to God, and I got on my knees and I said, God, thank you. Like, who says thank you for giving, you know, having that diagnosis? But I said thank you because obviously I was not doing something right. I know being an entrepreneur, it's stressful. As much as I love being an entrepreneur, it is stressful.
It's very stressful.
Very
yeah.
stressful, not trying to know when, you know, money's coming in, and just
Not
robbing
taking-
Peter to pay Paul, not taking care of yourself, burning the night oil. I used to go to bed like 2, 3 in the mornings. Like, you're talking about like 9 years. That's a long time to be doing that. Also not exercising consistently. I might exercise for 2 weeks, then stop, and it's 6 months or 8 months later. So moving, it can't be sedative. And a lot of times I work from home, so I'm sitting, and so that's not good either. And then, you know, you're eating on the go. Sometimes I'm up 12 o'clock and I'm snacking on stuff. Not hungry, but, or when you're stressed, you're snacking. So those things were not good. Not drinking enough water also wasn't a good thing.
And exercise.
Right. You know, even though I was a dancer, I loved to go dancing. So whenever I did go to dancing, you know, go dancing with my girlfriends, you know, that was moving, but there was not enough movement, you know.
Well, listen, we have about 5 minutes left in the show, so I just wanted to say it's been like a real honor to interview you,
thank you.
I'm glad that you're feeling excited.
Yes.
And I'm confident that
Yeah.
you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But I want to turn the show back over to you because
Okay.
I don't know how to close out a show.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
or
Well, yes.
give any final
Yeah.
thoughts that.
Yeah, well, before I close, I just want to say, you know, now I am actually going to be going to an oncologist and hematologist to get checked again. The one blessing that I found is from changing my diet, lifestyle, not diet, because I don't believe in diets and fads and all that. My blood sugar had dropped. I went from 96, being almost diabetic, it went to like 79 or 76. And that was from eating more fruits. Like, everybody kept saying, oh, stop eating all these fruits. It's not good. It's too, you know, they were like sugar. I still ate and then dropped by 11. So I think, you know, it makes a difference of the types of things that you're doing. And a lot of things have gotten better. Before I went to this treatment, I lost 25 pounds on my own. Not thinking about it, it just dropped from not eating all the sugar and all the salt and snacking. And I did a lot of juicing and I started exercising. But, you know, I feel better. I don't feel as bloated as I used to. When I went there, oh my gosh, we walked. I didn't lose any weight there, but I lost so many inches. I brought 2 pair of pants and I had sweats. Those pants were dropping off.
You lost
I've
body
lost
fat.
so much inches. It's incredible. So, you know, I think what people need to do, you have to change your lifestyle. You know, is your appetite more important than your health is what you eat more, so what you eat is who you are, who you become. So I think you have to really make a choice. That's where it starts, with a choice. For me, pray to God, then you go and it comes into your mind that this body is important. Just like you maintain your car, you maintain your house, you have to maintain your body. That's priority before anything else. So, I want everyone to stay tuned. I'm going to be starting a Facebook group for anyone who wants to join me on this journey to a healthier mind, body, and spirit for the ultimate health. Until next time, bye-bye.